Hello, everyone. I'm so glad that you could join me for another story in Midville Library's I Love to Read Month celebration. Everyone knows that the library is full of fantasy stories and fairy tales, but did you know that the library also has stories about real people who've done impossible things? Our story today is about Helen Keller. Helen Keller was born in Tuscumbia, Alabama in 1880. When she was 19 months old, she became very ill. She got better, but she was now deaf and blind. Helen had to learn about the world around her by using only her senses of touch and smell. Can you imagine having to do that? I certainly can't. Because Helen could not hear, she did not know how to talk. She made up her own way to communicate. If she wanted ice cream, she shivered. There were many things Helen could not understand. This made her very angry, and she kicked and screamed. Many people thought that Helen was stupid. Helen's mother did not think so, though. She wanted to find a way to help her daughter. Helen's doctors did not know how to help children who were deaf and blind. Her parents took her to see Dr. Alexander Graham Bell. He helped find a teacher for Helen. Helen was 6 years old when she met her new teacher, Anne Sullivan. Anne made Helen do as she was told. One day she spent 2 hours making Helen eat with a spoon and not her hand. Soon, Helen began to trust and obey Anne. Every day, Anne traced letters into Helen's hand, but Helen did not understand that D-O-G meant dog, or that D-O-L-L meant doll. Why do you think Helen couldn't understand? We'll have to find out. Then, one day, Anne put Helen's hand under the water pump. In Helen's other hand, Anne traced W-A-T-E-R. Suddenly, Helen understood that water was the name of the cool thing running over her hand. Helen began to learn very fast. Soon she knew hundreds of words. She even learned how to read and write Braille, which are the little raised dots that you see her touching in this picture. Helen wanted to speak. She learned by touching her teacher's lips and tongue and copying the movements. She was soon able to make the different sounds. Helen wanted to learn more. She went to college and earned a degree. Anne was always with her. Anne read the books to Helen by tracing words into her hand. Helen spent the rest of her life helping others with special needs. She raised a lot of money to help other blind people. Helen wrote books and traveled all over the world to give lectures. She wanted to show that deaf and blind people were not helpless. She died in 1968 when she was 87 years old. Because Helen was a famous person, there are many photographs of her. In this picture with Anne Sullivan, Helen is 17 years old. There's Helen, and there's Anne. This is another picture of Helen when she was 80 years old. She is reading one of her Braille books. Can you see the dots? When Helen was 22, she wrote her autobiography. In the book, she tells us what it felt like to be deaf and blind. Many authors have written biographies of Helen Keller. Some are for adults and some are for children. You can find them in your local library. The house in Alabama where Helen Keller grew up is now a museum. Inside, you can see the room where she was born. There was also a movie made about Helen's life. It is called The Miracle Worker. You can see it on DVD or video. The story of Helen Keller shows us that even though things might seem impossible, if we work hard, sometimes we're able to overcome the impossible. I hope you enjoyed today's I Love Reading Month celebration. Have a great day and join us next time for another great story.